I want you to tell me the story about when we were living in Oxford House and we went out, you know how we would leave for the whole summer and we would go camping? And Dad chopped his foot with the axe. So how far away were we? We were 30 miles away from anywhere.
We were up the Carriages.
And what happened with Dad?
He hit his foot when he was chopping wood. He hit the branch, the stump of the branch, and the axe went
Bounced off the knot.
Bounced off the knot of the tree and hit him right here. He cut him right open.
Oh, but is that the foot that he cut?
I don't remember. I think so.
How deep did it go?
Oh, God. It was a very deep cut.
So we're out on a camping trip 30 miles from nowhere in a boat, and it's you and Dad, and you got 5 kids,
Right.
and Dad's chopping down a tree, and he hits a knot, and the axe bounces back and chops his ankle. So he's completely incapacitated. So what
do I do?
What do you do?
The blood was just pouring out of his wound there because I thought he hit a big artery. It was just pumping out like this. Blood was spurting up. And Dad is just sitting there trying to hold his foot because the blood is just pouring out of there. So they're, oh my God, he's going to bleed to death. And I ran in the bush and I looked for these special trees. It's a spruce tree. And the tiny little tips of the branches, the baby things,
needles?
Nice, the needles, yeah, they're nice and green. I pick those and I tell your kids to pick those. And I put a bunch in my hand and I put some in each of your mouths.
Yeah, that, I remember that. We had to chew pine needles.
Yeah.
It tasted horrible.
Yeah, and just keep your saliva in with it and just keep chewing it, and all of us did. And you spit it out in my hand, and we ran back to Dad, and he's just sitting there, just pale already. He's passing out. Just slapped it on him. Just to stop the bleeding.
Yeah. And then wrapped it up.
I wrapped it up, yeah.
Did he pass out?
No, we got him okay again.
And
now what do we do? Yeah.
Yeah.
The bleeding stopped after a while because that spruce tree pines there. They're, I don't know, they're medicinal or whatever. It stops the bleeding anyway. When you stick them on there, stick a whole bunch. Don't swallow them, I say to you guys. And they taste it awful. You have to do this because I can't do it all by myself. And so you're all chewing these pine needles, our own mouth full of them.
I remember that.
Because I needed lots. It was a big cut there. I put him on there and wrapped up his foot and sat around for a while and got him back to himself eventually. Then he sat there, okay, what do we do now? We got to go home. We got to pack up and go home. So Dad couldn't do very much. Just you guys would help me as much as you can because I had to pack everything.
I remember.
Into the boat. Pack it all up. And eventually we got there and then we hit that.
We got to a certain spot, like going back was okay. And then the storm hit, and there was an island in the middle of this lake, and we got stuck on this island, and the island was so small, I would say it's probably about the size of this apartment. Like you could walk across it. All of us filled up this island, and the waves were so huge that there was no way, because I remember being in the boat, and you put us all under the tent, and you pulled the tent over us.
Because the kids were getting scared of the waves and stuff like that.
Who was driving the boat?
Dad was. But as long as he kept it quiet and don't disturb it, see if it's going okay. I just made a quick lean-to. Yeah. And everybody slept there. We finally got across to the other side when it calmed down.
We went to the bay.
Yeah.
And we were sheltered.
Yeah, we found shelter there, and that boat came along.
And then a boat came along, How did what happened after we got to the bay? We just waited out the storm?
More or less waited out the storm because the waves were too big. Because we figured, hell, I can walk it. I thought, I'll just take a gun, park all you guys, make a lean-to, and walk into Oxford. It didn't seem that far, just walk along the shoreline, more or less. I'd make it, yeah. But then it calmed down, and then we met that boat along the way.
And we made it back.
Yeah, we made it back.
And then Dad, how long did this trip make it back?
But it took us a couple of days, I think, because we had to stop that time. We couldn't get across the lake.
And meanwhile, we're chewing fresh pine needles all the time to change Dad's dressing. It was terrible.
I remember somebody took a picture of me. I fell asleep on a rock, on a flat rock. I was so exhausted because I had to do everything in back and cook and make a tent and
take care of 5 kids.
Take care of 5 kids and your dad at the same time.
Oh my goodness, Mom.
I remember I just laid down on a rock, and just bare rock. I slept. I went to sleep. I was exhausted. God.
When we got back, Dad went straight to the hospital.
Yeah, into the nursing station. And they looked at it and they said, we're not going to touch it. Because I told him when it starts to heal, it falls off. When the wound starts to heal, and they wouldn't touch it. And they said there was no infection.
It closed up too. It's like,
closed up pretty good.
Yeah, it closed up.
They just bandaged him better. No,
and they asked, what was it? What was the stuff that you put on that wound? Because they couldn't figure out how the hell you stopped the bleeding and repaired the wound better than anything that they had at the nursing station. And you had the opportunity to say,
all Indian medicine.
Oh my goodness. I do remember it. I remember it. I remember watching you sleeping on the rock. I remember you had on a red poncho.
You're right.
I remember it. Yeah.
Somebody took a picture of me. I guess one of your kids did, or Dad. I don't know. I'm sleeping on a flat rock.
On a flat, solid rock, and you were sleeping as if you were on a posture-peated bed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember that. I love that story.
And the doctor saw that's what he said when I'm going to touch it. You'll feel safe. And it's amazing how the bleeding stopped and how it didn't even, his foot didn't even swell up and stuff like that.
And he only had a line for a scar. Like when he showed it to people, there was hardly even a mark there. He had to point it out. But the fact that it almost wrapped around half of his ankle just amazed people, because we're talking muscles and tendons and all of this stuff on your ankle, completely healing right to just leave a little bit of a scar. And as far as I know, Dad never walked with a limp or anything like that. It was
never went to the hospital.
It was perfect. If they had done it in the hospital, they probably would have stitched him up, and he probably would have had a limp and a lot more scarring than what he did. What made you think of little pine needles on the tree?
Showed me, or my grandmother showed me, or I don't know. It came to me. I knew what to do.
That's pretty amazing.
I knew what one to pick up.
All right. My mom's a hero.
I knew what to go and get. For some reason, I knew what to go and get.